We gave Des Moines police her phone number, address, and the time frame she called in, but it was like finding a needle in a haystack. We're here at the Kraft 5-star muffler on the south side of Des Moines where the deadly shooting happened this morning, and you can see exactly what the owner saw when he got here. Forced entry into the building. One problem Iowa City may not have expected: deer devastation. The area population has grown to over 10,000, and local gardeners are starting to notice the havoc being wreaked on their hostas. Iowa City has seen over 5 inches of rain in the past 3 days, and if you look right behind me here, you can see how much higher the Iowa River is. So there was definitely a real sense of closure at the funeral yesterday. Everyone who spoke tried to keep the mood very positive, but it was still an emotional day to say the least. On Friday, an Iowa City man was caught shoplifting at this Hy-Vee right behind me here when he attacked an employee and bit him and actually drew blood. Well, Lauren, that's what we're trying to figure out. We gave Des Moines police her phone number, address, and the time frame she called in, but it was like finding a needle in a haystack. Here's what we found instead.
My entire house caved in. Me and my dog almost drowned.
Amanda Hatfield was traumatized after almost dying in last week's flood. Not knowing what else to do, Hatfield called 911.
911, Des Moines Police.
But couldn't get through.
I called the cops 5 times. I got hung up on twice.
Des Moines police say they received an overwhelming amount of calls that night.
We crammed 24 hours worth of phone calls into a 4-hour period.
And when the phone lines are flooded with calls, Sergeant Paul Parizek says technology can fail.
It's similar to the flood situation. You're trying to take a lot and cram it into a small spot, and sometimes some of it's going to spill out.
But they do have a fail-safe in place.
911 at our police department could totally go out of service. The phone calls are automatically going to roll over to another agency.
Dispatchers told Parizek the night of the flood was one of the busiest ever.
I talked to a couple of them that said that was probably the most memorable night of their career.
But police don't want to discourage people from calling 911 in the case of an emergency.
911's been around for decades because it works.
Now, Des Moines police still say 911 is the number to call even if you're hung up on, so don't go anywhere else. From downtown Des Moines, Beau Bowman, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader. There's something in the water in Templeton. Whiskey. The bootlegging namesake for the famous rye whiskey is celebrating a homecoming. Once brewed in Indiana, Templeton Rye opened its new distillery to get back to its roots.
We're very happy to be back.
It's the $35 million facility that Templeton Rye says would leave its bootlegging founders breathless.
Walls lined with history and shelves showing off samples. Co-founder Keith Kirchhoff says there's no better place to distill the drink created by his grandfather.
I always joke about my grandfather. He'd probably say, being the shrewd person he was, he'd probably say, where's my check at?
But the best part comes from sharing a drink with the community.
The most gratifying is the look in their eyes when they just sit there and they don't say a word.
While they brew the next batch.
So Templeton Rye whiskey is coming out the top of this column as we speak.
And the people in Templeton don't think there's anything wrong with a little whiskey in the water.
Templeton Rye.
Reporting in Templeton, Beau Bowman, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader. As the curtains go up, the cast of Hamilton aren't the only ones preparing for the Des Moines debut.
We're going to have guests from all over the Midwest flying in and driving in for this show. So we wanted to put our very best foot forward for all of those people.
And the CEO of Catch Des Moines says businesses should expect more foot traffic.
Hotels are going to be busy, restaurants are going to be extremely busy, especially downtown, where really the whole metro area will feel the impact.
Downtown stores like Raygun are playing up the Hamilton hype and using the musical to sell t-shirts.
It's so much bigger than just like a show that attracts like Des Moines people, and nothing against Des Moines people, but they could kind of come here whenever they want.
But Raygun will only see a drop in the big bucket of revenue Hamilton will bring to the metro.
We'll do an analysis after the show, but it's literally going to bring in millions and millions of dollars to the economy,
making it the biggest boom for Des Moines businesses since other classics made their way through town.
I think this is going to be the biggest Broadway show event in Iowa since Phantom of the Opera.
Reporting in Des Moines, Beau Bowman, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.